question that I've been asked is probably, can I have sex?
Do you sleep in your wheelchair?
How do you shit?
Someone will say to me, oh, geez, I wish I had one of those, or I wish I got, I could use one of those. And I feel like saying to them, dude, I wish I had legs.
It's also really weird that someone would ask such a personal question to someone that they don't know. It's
quite perverse.
If I ask that in response to their question, they'd be like, why are you asking me that? I'm like, well, why are you asking me?
It was right after I crashed my wheelchair into a gutter. One of my mates turned around and said, do you need to have a license or do a course before having a motor on your wheelchair?
Oh, look out. Have you got a license to drive that? And I'm thinking...
Do you have a license for that wheelchair?
That's people trying to be playful. That's, people saying, oh, I wish I had one of them. They're tired, they might have some issue with their own mobility. And
this is where you put your happy cap on and see it through their eyes.
This little girl comes up to me, she's like, oh, why are you like that? And I was like, and I just thought, screw it. And I was like, because I come from a different planet. And I'm here for a bit, repairing my ship until I go away.
Usually when people ask me these questions, are very simple, I'm not interested, I'm sorry. And then just driving away and watching the fluster going, oh, I wasn't asking, like, if we wanted to, I'm like, well, why are you asking me?
The reality is you shouldn't ask somebody with a disability anything that actually doesn't impact you. So going up to a complete stranger and asking them why they're in a wheelchair, when you've never met them before, are probably never likely to see them again, can be quite confronting. That can be something that's hard to talk about depending on where you are in your journey.
When you're out and about in the community, people will look at you and they'll have prejudgments about whether you're happy to talk about different things. You'll hear children talking to their parents and their parents say, no, don't say that, And I'll turn around and I'll say, no, it's okay.
In the early years when he had his wheelchair but he only used them for fatigue, he would walk some and then get in his wheelchair, and there were quite a few people wondering loudly how come he needs a wheelchair when he can walk, and you have to stop and explain.
People ask if you catch it, people ask you all sorts of different questions, why you walk funny, all sorts of stuff, So I've always thought I just answer them because it helps ease their mind.
I would love for people to go into schools with a wheelchair and, put a child into the chair, younger children especially, because they're the ones that are going to be our future. They need to know this kinds of stuff, and put them in a chair and let them just see from your point of view what it's like to sit in the chair, because they see it either as something different, something, you're sick or something because you're in a wheelchair, and they're not sure how to talk to you because you're in a wheelchair.
If you are asking a question of someone with a disability, don't start with the question though. Get to know us as a person first.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, how you doing? What are you doing? Like, have a chat, and they go, look, I was just curious. Do you mind answering this question? Don't just launch into a personal question.
Hey, does your dick work?
Yeah, it's just not right.
It doesn't work.
It does. And I think that's the way in which you do it. Have a genuine, personable conversation, and then ask the question. They're going to have to cut that.